Good evening, and thank you for joining me for this edition of the Pulpit, Politics, and People. After a long break, we are back, and we are back live with some new information, new stories, and this is where you get good information to make the best informed decisions. I am here. There's been a lot of stuff in the news here lately, but I am here with a retired police officer, police sergeant for the city of Chattanooga, and that is Miss Sherilyn Bryant. We are longtime friends, and we are. I'm so excited to have you on the show this evening. And all that's been going on in the news, we've been kind of focusing on a lot of the political stuff that's going on in the news, especially the events that have taken place recently in Memphis, Tennessee, where a gentleman was killed by other police officers. So today, I've entitled this segment of the Pulpit, Politics, and People to be Policing in the Community. Policing in the Community. And I got Ms. Bryant here, Sergeant Bryant, to talk to us a little bit about policing in the community and get her thoughts on what's been taking place, especially surrounding what's been going on in the Memphis area, Memphis, Tennessee area. Ms. Bryant, please, yes, Sergeant Bryant, I'm sorry. Please say hello to our viewers.
Hello, viewers.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am retired Sergeant Bryant. I love saying it now.
Yeah, we never retired though.
Well, yeah. But I am Sergeant Sherilyn Bryant, retired with the Chattanooga Police Department of 28 years of service.
Wow, 28 years.
28 years. 28 years, yes.
My goodness.
But I can say that in my 28 years, I loved it.
Oh, good.
I love it because I've worked a lot in the community and a lot with our youth.
Oh, good.
With our future. Mm-hmm. And if anything that I miss from that is just some of the connections that I have with different communities and our youth in the community. Mm-hmm. I'm still in the community, but just not as widespread as I was.
Okay.
I'm still there.
So what are some of the things you're doing with the community, and being retired?
I am the assistant band director at Howard High School.
Okay.
Howard High Marching Band.
I was going to say, I just don't know if Kirkman was actually a school, so I just have to say it was Howard.
It was a school. Well, okay, since we're on that subject, let me slip away for a minute from the political.
I'm a Brainerd Panther.
Howard was the first preschool of the South.
Okay, fine.
And Brainerd would not be as it is today if it was not for Howard.
Okay, you win.
But yes, I still work with the kids at Howard High School as well as Howard Connected Middle School.
Oh, okay.
So we are deeply rooted in the school over there and just continuing to work with our students and just transform some lives.
So, and I'm really glad you said transform some lives. So, in your experience as a police officer, policewoman, how do you think that you impacted the community, the kids that you work with?
I can honestly say that I did have a huge impact, and I don't toot my own horn. I let my work speak for me. The students, the kids, I'm really close with the kids. I'm with them during high school, and after they leave high school, I still follow up with the kids to see where they are and what's going on. And even those that have gone on to college, I still follow with them.
So you just kind of track along with them?
I track along with them and walk with them. I'm there, the up, down, good, bad, the ugly.
And that's a lot of what we need, especially our kids in this day and age, to kind of help guide some of the kids that may not be in a community, family setting or anything like that. And a lot of times, they look to people like you. They look to you
as they really look for is consistency. We have a lot of people in the community that have their programs that come and work with the kids, but it's just for that moment. And the thing that the kids look for today is the consistency. Someone that's not in their lives for a moment, that's really there for the long haul. Because some of those kids come from homes where people are in and out of their lives.
Good.
And they're used to that, and when they have someone that's consistent through it all, not judgmental, hold them accountable.
Wow.
But not be judgmental in that.
That's good. That's good.
And that's the impact I can say I had on the students and the kids whose paths I crossed. I ran into a young lady that when I was a police officer, we got a call that a child had been kidnapped and snatched from the bus line. They were out waiting for the school bus.
Yeah.
And I was in the area when it happened, and as the description of the car was coming across the radio, I was actually behind that car.
Wow.
And God pushed you in the right place at the right time.
Wow.
And I got the cars in, and we actually got the gentleman stopped.
Yeah.
And when they opened the door, the little girl ran out. She ran straight to me.
Wow.
And I was at a funeral a couple of years ago. And this is years after that happened. And she came up to me. She said, "You don't remember me?" I said, "No, baby, I don't. Please don't be offended." She said, "I was a little girl." And she said, "You remember a little girl that you saved, that a man snatched me from the bus line?
Wow.
I was waiting on the school bus." I was like, "Oh my God, yes." She said, "That was me." And she tells her children about that.
Wow.
And just that interaction and that impact, because even after that happened, I did keep in touch with her for a little while, but she moved away.
Wow.
And I didn't know where she had gone. And I was like, wow, okay.
So it is totally satisfying when you work in a job and when you perform that job. Not only do you have an impact
Correct.
on the people that you come in contact with, but you are effective.
Correct.
And that is a lot of what ministry is all about.
And it is.
And ministry is not just having an impact, but it's being effective in the impact that you have on the different people. So let's move a little bit to the community. What and how did you see policing the community from your experience and the various children that you had conversation with, you had communication with, you had relationship with? How do you see policing the community?
That is huge in the communities. In my era, coming in, that's how we were taught. You don't just ride around. You don't just get in your car and ride around. You park that car, you get out, you engage the community. It was nothing to go sit on the porch and just, sit back and talk to somebody on the porch, or if somebody was barbecuing, "Hey, I'll be back to get a ball." And they hold me to that.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And it was very important to be involved in the communities and not just inner city. In my 28 years, I literally worked every area of this city.
Wow.
And I did the same thing. I don't care what community I was assigned to.
Good.
And that broke down a lot of barriers.
Okay.
Because people were hesitant coming to the police and talking to the police. And my thing with our kids would be, and I would tell parents, don't tell your children not to talk to the police, because they may really need me one day. They will be afraid to come to me because you embedded that in their minds that you don't talk to the police. So the community involvement is very vital. I don't see that today. I don't see police in the communities like they were. And we did it all the time, and someone came up with this thing, community policing. We'd always done that. Yeah. That was just the norm. That's just what you did. But I don't see that today. I see a distance between the communities and policing. I see a disconnect with the community and the policing. And it's just very, very vital.
So before you go any further, this is the Pulpit Politics and People. I'm your host, Aaliyah Hakeem, and we're talking today about community and the police, or policing the community, with Sergeant or retired Sergeant Cheryl Bryant of the City of Chattanooga Police Department, or CPD. And I'm really glad that you just made that point, because it spoke to communication between the people that are supposed to protect us
Correct.
and to serve the community, but there's a disconnect.
There's a disconnect.
And how do you see any way to reconnect that or get that back together? Or what do you see in some of the training? Is it something that the police need to do? Revamp their training, revamp the people that they bring onto the force? What do you see?
I think the people that bring onto the force, you can have all the training in the world, but if you don't have that mindset,
Oh wow,
training is just the motion you go
goes
through.
out the window.
It's sort of kind of out there. It's there, but it's buried so deep
Oh my.
that it's not there. But you have to have that mindset, and you have to take initiative.
Uh-huh.
You know, don't sit back and wait for everybody to come to you. You have to take the initiative sometimes. And I do know our young people want that connection. They want to have that relationship with the police. And what I'm just seeing some resistance from the policing side. And I'm sorry, brothers and sisters of the law, I have to say it. I'm going to tell the truth, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And I see that, and I see pushback, and I'm not understanding why. I don't know if the cultural barriers that are there, because some of the officers that I've seen and I've talked to don't understand the community. They don't understand some of the things that's going on in the communities. I don't know if it's because they haven't been exposed to certain things.
I see. That's good. That's good.
Or
that's good.
You know what it is, but I see that disconnect. I see the disconnect, and I don't see the willingness. I'm not saying all of them, some of them. I don't see the willingness to build that bridge.
Wow. And okay, so in the news, majorly in the news, we've just had a African American gentleman killed by police officers, and this
American police officer.
and it was, basically black police officers killed a black man. When a few years ago we had a group of white police officers kill a black man. And this most recent event has taken place in Memphis, Tennessee, which is why I wanted to have you on the show this evening to just kind of speak to what do you see the issue for it looks like more black on black crime, even from the community, from the police.
We have black on black crime.
Yeah.
And the rate is so high, it's crazy. And a lot of that has to do with the gang life.
Okay.
With the black on black crime, and that's something we don't speak about, and we need to speak about it.
Good.
We need to speak about it. Yes, you have the officers that don't represent every officer, and that's going on.
I see.
The media focuses on that because for an officer that comes to get a child that doesn't have a mother or father in their life and come and get them and spend some time with them, that's not noteworthy. That's not newsworthy.
I see.
Because you do have a vast majority of the officers. I know officers that are coaches for basketball, for baseball, for football, and they get those kids and they literally are sometimes the parent.
Right.
But you don't see that in the news.
But see, and the thing of it is that I always say there's a lot of stuff that go on behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
A lot of stuff that we don't see and we don't hear.
Correct.
Now, and I've, being in, I guess, quote unquote, the media world, and I've had the privilege to talking to other police officers and other people having to do with police work in the community, including yourself. I've heard different pieces of information that came out of Memphis concerning the so it looked like a police stop, and it looked like it was a justifiable police stop until we got video, until we started getting pieces of information.
Exactly.
But there's some other stuff that was going on that nobody seems to know.
And
and nobody or everybody won't have privilege to hear that information. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes
that we don't know, but up front, I will say it turns my stomach.
Oh wow.
To see the videos that I've seen and the things they did to that young man.
Yeah.
I mean, even just talking about it now just sends chills all over me. It turns
Absolutely.
my stomach because the humanity in it. Let's take off the uniform. Take off the uniform.
Yeah.
Human being on human being.
Right. Absolutely.
It is just gut wrenching.
Yeah.
To know that the ones that are sworn to serve and protect
Yes.
are the ones that ended a life.
Yes.
Senseless.
Absolutely.
It's just gut wrenching to know that, and they need to receive everything.
The maximum penalty of the law,
because that's something that never should have happened.
Wow. So what is your thought on where we go from here?
It needs to be transparency.
Okay.
Not
necessarily more training.
Not necessarily more training, but when things of that magnitude happen,
yes,
don't cover it up.
Very good.
Don't cover it up.
Very good.
Put it out there. It was out there when it happened.
Yeah.
You know how your mama used to tell you, I don't wait till I get home.
Yeah.
I deal with you where you are.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
For what it is.
Yeah.
And again, training, you can train all day long, but if that mindset, you don't have the correct mindset. And just reading some of the things that I've read, evidently there were flags that were there with those officers that
really?
in my point of view were ignored. There were flags that were ignored because they gave a little snippet of the background on those officers and some things that they had been involved in before, and seeing that I'm like, that's a red flag. Why did somebody turn a blind eye to that? Because had that situation or a couple of other situations had been dealt with, in my opinion, that young man would still be here today.
Oh wow. Wow. So this is retired Sergeant Cheryl Bryant of the City of Chattanooga, or the Chattanooga Police Department here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And we're talking about policing the community, and our focus is on the events that have taken place in the news, especially with a couple of years ago, the death of a black man, and then just recently the death of a black man at the hand of black police officers. Sergeant Bryant, any last thoughts?
I would truly love to see the police reconnect or rebuild that bridge to the community. You take care of the community takes care of you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And it goes hand in hand. But you have to be willing to take that step.
Absolutely.
And break down that wall that has been placed. The transparency needs to be there. And that's all a part of rebuilding that. But for my young people, I see a change taking place with our young people. A lot of the craziness that we had going on, I'm seeing the young people really taking ownership and making a change. I see it happening. I see it coming. So I'm proud of those that have taken a step and stepped away from the craziness that's going on and standing up and speaking for the right thing. Stand firm in what you believe in. We're moving in the right direction. If you will not go.
Excellent. So I gotta let everybody know that we are here at the Kingdom Center, just across from the Olivet Baptist Church here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and there is what's going on that we hear all this music in our background.
We have a gospel jazz brunch going on. This is a kickoff for many of the fundraisers that we're going to have for Howard's Marching Band. We're in the process of ordering new uniforms. And the proceeds from this and other fundraisers that we're going to have going towards the purchase. So if you would like to make a donation to the Howard Marching Band, you can send it to Howard School, but make sure it's designated for Howard Band. And we'll get that, and we appreciate the community because you all have been very supportive with us. We greatly appreciate that.
So, okay, Howard was a school before Brainerd was a school. So, okay.
And Howard still is a school before Brainerd was a school.
You still win. You still win. This has been the Pulpit Politics and People. I'm your host, Aaliyah Hakeem. Please tune in. Next week we'll have more good information for you to make the best informed decisions. And if you have any ideas or any thoughts or anything that you'd like to see, or any information that you'd like to gather from any of the shows that I've done, please contact me via Facebook. We're live on Facebook every Sunday at 7 p.m. And I might have an impromptu deal going on